Who wins? Gohan. Gohan wins, bro. I don't know why they made him this crazy. But yeah, that's the video.
So, back in August of 2020, I made a video called Tech Z Sword Gohan versus STR Transforming Cooler. And has anything changed from that argument since then? Because, of course, time has went on and these units have aged, meaning that there's more categories that have been added to these guys categories list, and maybe there's some buffs for the categories that they both lead. So let's go ahead and talk about it. We're going to give an update on this situation years later. So I said confidently at the end of the video that Tech Ultimate Gohan is better than STR Cooler. But I believe what I forgot to mention in that video is that even if you like Cooler better than Gohan, I don't really hate that. Because remember, 2020 is the year of Extreme Super Battle Road. So this guy right over here is attack debuffing inside his super attack effect. That makes him very, very formidable for a specific content such as Battle Road that can have these enemies debuffed. Meanwhile, Gohan is a very self-sufficient unit inside Battle Road. He's greedy. He wants to sit in slot 1 and take all the damage. He wants to be your sponge. Not particularly, I mean, if you want to think about it that way, he technically does help the team. But at the same time, he is a self-sufficient unit that clearly helps himself to sit in that first slot to take all that damage regardless. Either way you think about it, you can say he's greedy because he wants the first slot, he wants to stack, you want to replace him over another unit, or you can say that he's a team player. It goes either way. It doesn't really matter. This unit was seen as a self-sufficient unit because he guards, he stacks, he only does stuff for himself, and he's not particularly doing anything for the team. Like, he has no support type buff. This guy does not do a debuff on super because, of course, during the meta they came out, during that being the Extreme Super Battle Road meta, this guy's not doing anything for these units to help them out as a team player unit. So you could be on the side of Tech Ultimate Gohan saying that he is pretty much a self-sufficient unit because he's not helping out the team in any way, shape, or form. Or you can say that Tech Ultimate Gohan is helping out the team by sitting inside the first slot, taking those hits, stacking, and doing all this good stuff. He transforms, becomes effective against all types. He it just changes his link set. Nothing really too much to talk about him in his post-transformation. Just still guards, gains more additional attack, well, basically for the rest of the battle, and he's effective against all types, blah, 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 with a 30% chance to stun. I mean, you could say that his 30% chance to stun is definitely something that you could use, and that could help you out. But where you're going to go ahead and see this guy the most is inside his first form, that being the Z-Sword form of his. So, going on over to Cooler, like I said, I can see the argument way back in August of 2020 of someone saying that Cooler is definitely better than Gohan, because if you take a look at what Cooler is doing at the time, of course, he has a very easy transmission condition. Third turn, when you're going up against a pure Hybrid Sans character, pretty goddamn simple, as well as him attack debuffing on super. He's a dual support type unit to transformation boost when you're going up against one enemy, and of course terrifying conquerors when you're going up against multiple enemies. So if for whatever reason you're able to go ahead and bring some terrifying conquerors characters onto your extreme STR team, which of course I'm pretty sure that back in 2020, let me go ahead and double check this real quick. Let me go over the challenge events. I'm pretty sure that it was only the first 10 stages that were out at the time. When do we get the next 10 stages? Yeah, JP doesn't get the next 10 stages till part 2 of the Worldwide Down Celebration of 2020. And funny enough, of course, while JP is getting the next 10 stages of Extreme Super Battle Road at the time of the Part 2 Worldwide Down Celebration of 2020, Global is just now getting the first 10 stages, which is just stupid. It's dumb. I will never forget that celebration for Saiyan Day where JP got content and then Global got nothing. I was just like, you know, it didn't make sense to me. And of course, at the time, and still even now, I play both versions consistently, and I was just like, why? Why would you? It's just, what huh? Doesn't make no sense. So, going back on over to these units, of course, like I was saying, this guy for a Extreme STR team full of terrifying conquerors characters can definitely look very impressive. Because if you look at what he's doing, it's like He's a dual support type unit. He has a very easy transformation condition. He has a very powerful leader skill. He has a very good super attack effect. So even when Cooler had first came out in Halloween of 2019, up until TEQ Ultimate Gohan's release, people didn't want to let go of Cooler, and I can definitely understand why. Because if you really think about it, Cooler is performing well during the meta that he came out during, that being the Legendary Goku event meta, because that was the meta for 2019, going into Saiyan Day of 2020 when we get the Extreme Super Battle Road meta. Now, it's definitely not far-fetched to say that this guy was easily the best T-War in the game on release. Yes. It is not far-fetched at all. This guy is amazing. He's greatly stacking. They do not give that to a lot of units even now. There is, I'm pretty sure, only a handful of units you can count on your fingers that both greatly stack attack and defense. I'm very confident to say that there's only a handful of units in this game that greatly stacks attack and defense, and this guy being one of them. Dokkan, I am very sure that they regretted making this guy as good as they did. Now, if you really think about it, I would say that Gohan completely blew Cooler out of the water in terms of longevity, of course, before easying, obviously. But in terms of longevity, this guy lasted so goddamn long. So let's go ahead and go down the list of meta content this guy's just blew through. So, okay. Extreme Super Battle Road, he does well. Legendary Goku meta, of course, that's a meta that passed. He does well because he greatly stacks. Extreme Super Battle meta, the reason why he does so well is because he's basically a sponge that's able to take damage and stack and stack and stack. That way, when this guy does get past a certain defensive threshold, he's not taking that much damage. So you got Extreme Super Battle Road, you got the Legendary Goku event, you got the Legendary GT Goku event, you got the Legendary Vegeta event, which of course would creep into as a sub-meta type deal, while the God event meta is out inside 2021. Oh, not to mention the God event meta too. And funny enough, when we go into 2022 for the Red Zone meta, this guy's usable still for the earlier stages. And I've seen people beat Broly with this guy, and I am people that was included in that. I beat Broly with this guy. I beat Red Zone Janemba with this guy. I beat Red Zone Bojack with this guy. You can still somehow beat Red Zone stages with this guy. It's crazy as it seems, so long as this guy's not taking damage. Well, excuse me. As long as he's not taking damage from, okay, how do I word this? So long as this guy's not in the line of fire, he's going to be a-okay. Because if he takes a super attack immediately, obviously he's going to take a stupid amount of damage. Clearly. Like 400k for this guy while he has guard activated is definitely a lot of damage on a super attack from Red Zone boss. Now, provided this guy's able to build up and build up and build up, by the time you get to like the middle-ish end of the fight, this guy's going to still be looking good. But the fact of the matter is that this guy's like a cockroach. He lived through multiple metas. The mainline metas being Extreme Super Battle Road, the God Event meta, and the Red Zone meta. Of course, he's not really used a lot more in the Red Zone meta anymore, but early Red Zone meta, this guy was still viable. It's no bullshit. This guy, early Red Zone, when it had first came out for the 7-year anniversary, still a viable option. People hate that this guy lived through the menace that he did. The fucking company who created him, Bandai, do not like this guy. They wanted his ass torched immediately. So I would say that as like late Red Zone meta, which we are in right now, which is still going on right now, this guy's, it's like, why would you run him? Because there's definitely better options. But provided he is an option you would like to run, you can run him. As crazy as that sounds, you can still somehow run him. You just have to be careful to not have this guy sit inside too many attacks for the line of fire. And of course, if he gets hit by a super attack, it will most likely hurt. Now, I would say that longevity game, this guy be Cooler. Extreme Super Battle meta, if you want to completely compare these guys together, I would say that I would still take Gohan. Back during the Extreme Super Battle meta of 2020, I'm taking Gohan. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say that. Back when I made this video, I took Gohan, for damn sure. And even now, if we're talking during this guy's meta, I want Gohan. You guys know the little NBA thing where he's like, I want Iguodala. No, I want Gohan. Shout out to all my guys who watch basketball. But Gohan was definitely, you guys know how he was. That's pretty much the fact of the matter. So let's go ahead and do some comparisons like I did inside my old video. So we got Gohan versus Cooler when it comes to leader skill. I would say Cooler easily wins then and now. Because Cooler's leader skill, then Terrifying Conqueror's Transformation Boost, just a crazy ass dual leader skill. And remember, Terrifying Conquerors at the time was a developing category. So, I mean, this category had room for improvement. And I made that video back in August of 2020 when Terrifying Conquerors was not really looking that great. But it was a category that was going to develop over time. And I was right. It developed over time because look what we have in this category. We have LR Final Form Cooler. We have AGL Ginyu. We have Ma Junior. We got STR Cooler Post EZA. We have LR Golden Frieza. We have AGL Full Power Frieza. We have Dr. Wheelo, for fuck's sake. We have Int Bojack's EZA. We have LR Metal Cooler. It's like we have so many other goddamn options on this team. This team has developed and aged like just beautiful Moscato. Okay? So Terrifying Conqueror's Transformation Boost, he completely just instantly wins when it comes to a leader skill argument because Saviors is like still a shitty category. It's like I remember saying inside my video over here that Saviors, I'm sorry, this category sucks. It sucked back then, and it still sucks now. And if we go over to Hybrid Saiyans, of course, you guys know Hybrid Saiyans is obviously it's a good category team. I mean, what can we say? I mean, we got Dokkan Fest God Goku as a leader, and we also have LR Ultimate Gohan as leader too. And then pair with some hots like AGLR Gohan, you have the Shala Kid Gohan, and some other options that I'm not going to go ahead and list off. But this team has definitely gotten a lot better, and it still can definitely get better. Hybrid Saiyans, we aren't done getting Dokkan Fest for this team, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a new Dokkan Fest. I don't know, like a Super Saiyan Gohan from whatever saga. It doesn't really matter, but we can still get a brand new Dokkan Fest for this team. We get a Dokkan Fest Super Saiyan Trunks standalone. But yes, I would say Hybrid Saiyans is a good category team, but Saviors is a pretty ass category team. So Cooler very easily wins when it comes to the leader skill aspect from back then to now. That's pretty easy. Now, we compare super attack effects, of course, then and now. I mean, Gohan clearly wins. I mean, I love attack debuffs, of course. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to talk about him post EZA. Let's just go ahead. When we talk about super attack effects, let me just keep it. Damn, is it fair that I talk about it like this? You know what? For the sake of the video, for entertainment aspects, we're going to go ahead and just talk about it anyways. So, Gohan, when it comes to super attack effects, I would say Gohan still wins. Yeah, I would say Gohan definitely still wins, for sure. When it comes to passives, I think Cooler still wins. I like Cooler's passive pre-EZA compared to Gohan's. Even though he guards, obviously, guard is powerful, for sure. He's a guard character that greatly stacks. But at the time, I would still say, I gotta say I like Cooler's passive better for the meta that they were both battling each other with. Now, it's personal preference. People say that I like Gohan's better because he builds up ki, he's a guard character, he greatly stacks attack and defense. That definitely supports his guarding, for sure. But remember, we're talking strictly during this meta. We're not going to talk about now. For super attack effect and passive, we're going to go ahead and keep it towards the 2020 meta. We're not going to talk about now, clearly, because if we talk about now, obviously Cooler is the better unit. Like, it's clearly obvious, because he's an EZA unit. Comparing an EZA'd unit to a unit that has been EZA'd would not be fair. So we're going to go ahead and keep it as if this guy has never gotten his EZA'd at all. Just basically pretend that his EZA little panel right there doesn't exist. We're only talking about the 2020 meta, and that is completely about it when it comes to talking about this card. The only thing that I will compare is both their leader skills from then to now. Because Cooler just wins in leader skill. I mean, then and now, it's pretty easy. But back during 2020, I would still say that I think Gohan has the better super attack effect. Easily. I think Cooler has the better passive. For sure. Because during the Extreme Super Battle meta, I mean, this guy is a dual support type unit that attack debuffs. Yes? And I mean, although this guy is a guarding character that greatly stacks, I love TEQ Ultimate Gohan. I've defended this card ever since people said that Cooler was still better than him. No. Gohan is definitely still better than Cooler back during a time where this guy had came out. Just saying, that's pretty goddamn easy to say. So, if we go ahead and compare transformations, of course, transformation conditions, I mean, Cooler easily wins this. Pure Hybrid Saiyan's third turn from start of turn, or 6th turn facing only one enemy. I mean, 6th turn facing only one enemy is obviously, it's not really that great. But this Pure and Hybrid Saiyan's thing, which is pretty much something you always get, this is amazing. Immaculate, this is dumb, stupid. Even to this day, this guy still has one of the best active skill transformation conditions in the entire game. I am putting that down. This is a very, very good, powerful condition. So, post-transformations. Well, post-boost, because it's boost for Gohan, and it's transformation for him. Who wins post-transformation? We're just going to call it post-transformation for him. I would clearly say that, I mean, I think it's clear to say it's Gohan, because Gohan is stacking up all his attack and defense. When he transforms, all that stacked up attack and defense goes to this form, and this guy is still guarding. He then has stun chance, which is obviously usable for Battle Road at the time, being Extreme Super Battle Road being the toughest content in the game. And on top of that, he's effective against all types, provided the enemy's HP is above the 58% HP threshold. Or we're going up against a Buu Saga enemy, which is obviously niche, but hey, he's effective against all types, he's guarding, he has stun chance, which is obviously really helping out the team for Battle Road, and that's particularly about it. Guard, stacked up defense, stun chance, effective against all types. I mean, this guy is looking like an absolute just god, pre and post boost. And if we go over to Cooler, I would say that Cooler, it depends. Nah. For Extreme Super Battle Road, you don't want to have this guy transform. Unless you need to kill off the enemy, provided it's like a Goku or it's like a Pure Saiyan or Hybrid Saiyan. Unless you really need to kill off the enemy, then you go for it. But I would say that Gohan wins post transformation. I would say so. People be like, oh, but the guaranteed crits. But guys, it depends on who you are. Do you value the guaranteed crits with the super attack chance and the stack and attack, which stack and attack is not useful inside of Extreme Super Battle Road back in 2020, or do you value this guy's stun chance with guard and effective against all types? I'm taking his stun chance, guard, and effective against all types any day of the week with all of his stacked up attack and defense of buffs from his pre-boost. Yeah. So the reason why Gohan is better than Cooler is because he's a greatly stacker. That's 1. He's able to guard, clearly, that's 2. He transforms on turn 5 and he has stun chance. He's effective against all types, as well as him keeping his guard with all his stacked up attack and defense. That's the best way to sum it up. Because it's like, one thing I want to note is that those Extreme Super Battle Road fights, they do take a little while. Like they would go up to like turn 7, turn 8 maybe, provided you're not able to whittle down the units fast enough and burn through them. So, provided you get this guy to turn 5, you transform him immediately. He has that stun chance. He's helping you out. He has the effective against all types and guard. And then we go over to Cooler, who loses his attack debuff on Super for just greatly lowering defense, which is just not particularly that good. It's really nice that he does stack attack, but guess what? His stack and attack is not going to help out for Extreme Super Battle Road. So in a vacuum, his super attack effect is actually ass for Extreme Super Battle Road. And this guy's additional super attack chance is nice with his guaranteed crit against pure Hybrid Saiyan characters. This is good, for sure. Only problem is that this is not helping you inside Extreme Super Battle Road. The crit will, provided you're gonna go ahead and finish off the enemy. Sure, that's for like a dire situation or like some sort of damage blitz scenario. But really, you want to play it safe, you go with Gohan. Pretty much. You can go balls to the walls with Cooler, but I would say that Gohan's place, to end out the video, I'm going to use this as like a closing point. Gohan's presence on Super Tech, because remember, at the time of Gohan coming out, there was only the first 10 stages, and it was only on JP. I know it's dumb as hell that Global didn't get the first 10 stages of Extreme Super Battle Road, but bear with me, Dokkan has made some pretty dumbass decisions throughout the years. Of course, i.e. releasing 3 fucking base Gokus this year. We're not going to talk about that. But the thing is that Gohan, I would argue, is more helpful on Super Tech back in 2020 than Cooler was on Extreme STR. Because you think about it, hold on, think about it, right? Extreme STR doesn't need Cooler. No. And let me explain why. Extreme STR has just a mega fuck ton of attack debuffers. Extreme STR is the easiest, in my opinion. Extreme STR is the easiest Extreme Super Battle Road monotype stage. Not monotype, excuse me. It's the easiest, how do you say it? It's the easiest stage. It's the easiest of the first 10 stages. Yes, because there are so many goddamn attack debuffs. There's like, isn't there like 3 or 4 passive attack debuffers? You run double STR Omega? What? Then you run STR Cell. Then you run STR Rose. Bro, that's 4. That's 4 debuffers on the team because you have your double STR Omega. Of course, your Omega, and you have the friend leader. Then you have STR Cell, then you have Rose. Think about it. Extreme STR doesn't even need Cooler. It's cool if you run them on there. But remember back in 2020, guys, we have 4 passive attack debuffers on Extreme STR. Which is why I say that Gohan is doing more for Super Tech than what Cooler did for Extreme STR for Extreme Super Battle Road. This is meta related and very relevant. So I would say Gohan, during the meta where he came out, during that being the Extreme Super Battle Road meta, was easily better than Cooler. But do I respect someone who says that Cooler is better than Gohan because of what he is doing for the characters on Extreme Tech for Extreme Super Battle Road back in 2020? Yes, I respect it, for sure. It's like, I respect it because I can see why you would say that. Because the reason why someone would say that is because he's an attack debuffer, A. He's a dual support type unit, B. He has an amazing link set, C, which I forgot to mention throughout the entire video. Cooler easily has a better link set than Gohan, it's not a discussion. He has a good link set. He's a dual support type unit. He's an attack debuffer on Super. He has a very, very easy transformation condition. And he also has a clutch transformation because he can go ahead and take down these pure / hybrid Saiyans characters, provided you are in a dire scenario or you're inside a speed blitzing scenario. So yes, I can see why you like Cooler better, but for me, I think that Gohan is just better. It just makes way more sense. Gohan is a greatly stacker that guards, that transforms on turn 5, and do keep in mind those Extreme Super Battle Road fights back in 2020 did go on for a little bit. So this guy will transform on turn 5. He'll have stun chance, still guard, have all of his built up attack and defense from his pre-boost, as well as effective against all types to help you be a little bit more offensively sound. So Gohan, yes, Gohan did more for Super Tech than Cooler did for Extreme STR. And let me go ahead and bring up the examples before I go ahead and close out the video. So Extreme STR, how many passive attack debuffers do we have in this team? So A, STR Omega, B, STR Cell, C, Rose, and I think that is about it. I may be wrong. Hold on. Is there another passive attack debuffer that I overlooked? I'm pretty sure that's it. I think I'm looking over one. Someone go ahead and just let me know down below in the comment section what Extreme STR passive attack debuffer there is. And when I say passive attack debuffer, it's cards that lower enemies' attack from their passive. So basically, the example being STR Omega. So, A, you will be running double STR Omega, the friend lead, and your STR Omega. That's basically 2 characters on separate rotations. You have your Omega on your rotation, passively lowering the entire fights. You're lowering all the enemies' attack by 40% passively on both rotations. And on top of that, you set Cell right next to him post EZA, of course, which his EZA clearly was out at the time because his EZA comes out in August of 2019. Cell is passively attacking enemies' attack by 20%. when you're facing 2 or more enemies. And guess what? In Battle Road, you're facing 2 or more enemies. So Cell passively debuffs attack by 20%. Okay. Omega being on 1 rotation right next to him. So if you had these 2 right next to each other on a rotation, that the enemy's attack is debuffed by 60%. 20 from him, 40 from him. And on the other rotation, you had Rose, who pre and post EZA was a passive attack debuffer. So that's, yeah, super class enemies attack and defense minus 20%. So one rotation, you had Rose and you had Omega, right? So that's 60% for these two. And then that's 60% for Cell and Omega. So on both rotations, you were passively debuffing the enemy's attack by 60% on each goddamn rotation. So why the hell would you need STR Cooler on the team? Who cares at that point? Because that in all actuality makes this shit useless. This is useless. This is completely fucking useless. So, I mean, I think that is really about it. I mean, the only reason why I say that this will be useless on the Extreme STR team is because you have 2 rotations that are passively debuffing attack by 60%. I mean, I'm pretty much done talking about this here. Gohan's better than Cooler in my opinion at the time, but I would definitely not blast you for saying that Gohan would, that Cooler was not better than, Cooler being better than Gohan. Damn, I can't really word it correctly. But, yes. I think Gohan's better than Cooler, but you wouldn't be wrong to say that Cooler was better than Gohan back then, because I still think that Cooler was still able to keep up during the Extreme Super Battle Road meta. Although I already said that Extreme STR doesn't really need Cooler. I mean, not many people have STR Omega. Not many people, believe it or not, have STR Cell, because these units are all from 2016, 2017, 2016, 2016, 2017. Like, come on now. Sure, you can still use this guy on there. Yes, he's not bad for Extreme STR. I'm just making the case that this is the easiest Extreme Super Battle Road typing stage, in my opinion. Extreme STR. So, with that being said, look at me, like, old BH Devin. I mean, damn, this shit was blurry. Oh my god, that was when I was recording off my laptop. I came a long way, man. Shout out to all the people that watch me, my supporters. I love all you guys. You guys are great, because without you guys, I would not be anything. Of course, because the supporters are what make the content creators. Always remember that. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. You guys are the best. I'll catch you guys next video. I love you all. Peace.